There's something brewing behind the scenes that has fans split right down the middle, drivers facing tough questions, and honestly, it's sparking a much larger discussion about what NASCAR truly wants its future to look like. The wildest part is that depending on your perspective, this could either turn out to be the smartest decision possible or a massive missed chance. We're going to break everything down step by step, first exactly what just happened, then what it truly means, and finally why this feels bigger than it appears on the surface. But before we dive in, if you're a real NASCAR fan who lives and breathes this sport week after week, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe right now. This channel is brand new. We're grinding toward 15,000 subscribers, and it's all built around real talk like this, straight from one fan to another. Alright, let's get straight into it because this whole situation centers on one name that a lot of people never expected to be dominating NASCAR headlines like this, Cleetus McFarland, also known as Garrett Mitchell. So here's exactly what went down. Cleetus was set to compete in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race at Talladega Superspeedway later this month, behind the wheel of a Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. That's an enormous opportunity. Talladega isn't just any track, it's one of the fastest, most intense superspeedways in the entire sport. Earning approval to race there is a massive deal. But NASCAR stepped in and said no. They officially denied his approval to run superspeedway races in the O'Reilly Series for the time being. And this decision came right after his debut at Rockingham Speedway, where things didn't exactly go smoothly. Cleetus finished 32nd in that race, 6 laps down from the winner William Sawalik, and it wasn't just about the finishing position. During the race he had multiple incidents, spun out more than once, and even admitted himself that he nearly lost control several times. He tried a 3-wide move early on, got loose, and from that point it turned into a really chaotic night. He even told his fans straight up that NASCAR's decision felt like a kick in the nuts, but he owned it completely. He said he's got a lot to learn, and honestly that right there shows he knows exactly where he stands right now. NASCAR, through John Probst, the executive vice president and chief racing development officer, made it crystal clear that this isn't personal at all. In fact, he said they're huge fans of Cleetus, they respect everything he's done for the sport, and they appreciate the audience he brings in. But here, the key part. They want to see more from him before putting him in a superspeedway environment like Talladega. And if you're a real fan, you already understand why. Talladega is not the place you learn on the fly. That's pack racing at nearly 200 miles per hour. One mistake doesn't just affect you, it can wipe out half the field in an instant. So NASCAR is basically saying prove it first on the short tracks. Right now Cleetus is fully approved to run in the ARCA Menards Series, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and the O'Reilly Series on short tracks. They're not shutting the door on him, they're just not opening it all the way yet. And when you look at his experience level, it actually makes sense. He's only got one Truck Series start earlier this season at Daytona International Speedway, and that ended in a crash on lap 6, finishing dead last. In ARCA though, things look a lot more promising. He's posted 2 top 10 finishes in 5 starts, including a strong 4th place run in the ARCA Menards Series East race at Rockingham just last weekend. That shows there's real potential there, no question about it. But at the national NASCAR level, he's still figuring things out. And Cleetus himself put it best. He needs more windshield time, more laps, more experience, more time in the seat across different series before jumping into the deep end at tracks like Daytona and Talladega. Now here, where it gets even more interesting, because this isn't just about one driver getting denied. This leads straight into the bigger conversation, and that's our second story, because Cleetus McFarland isn't just another rookie driver trying to break in. This is a guy with over 4.7 million YouTube subscribers, a massive audience that NASCAR has been trying to reach for years. And alongside him you've got Squirrel McNutt, whose real name is George Sicilian, also building a strong following and stepping into ARCA competition. These guys are bringing something NASCAR has been missing for a long time: raw personality, authenticity, and a younger audience that actually connects with them on a real level. To put it into perspective, Cleetus alone is pulling viewership numbers that come close to major race broadcasts. His audience rivals the numbers you see for events like the Daytona races across different series. That's insane when you stop and think about it. And people inside the sport are starting to ask the serious question, is this the future of NASCAR? You've even got names like Greg Biffle, a longtime Cup Series driver who had been mentoring Cleetus before his tragic passing. That connection alone shows just how serious this transition into NASCAR has been for him. But here, the reality check: the learning curve in this sport is brutal. Cleetus has less than 500 laps combined across ARCA and trucks. That's nothing compared to drivers who have been grinding for years just to reach this level. And the same thing applies to Squirrel McNutt. His ARCA East debut showed exactly how tough that jump really is. He was multiple laps down, still learning, still adapting to everything. So yeah, the hype is absolutely real, but so is the challenge. NASCAR right now is stuck trying to balance 2 very important things: On one side, you've got massive exposure, brand new fans, and fresh energy pouring into the sport. On the other side, you've got safety, performance standards, and the integrity of the competition itself. And that's exactly why this decision hit so hard, because depending on how you look at it, NASCAR either protected the sport or slowed down something that could have helped it grow even faster. And that brings us to the bigger picture. This moment says a lot about where NASCAR stands right now. You've got drivers like Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, and Chase Elliott leading the standings early in the season, guys who represent the current competitive core of the sport. At the same time, you've got personalities like Cleetus McFarland and Squirrel McNutt bringing in a completely different type of audience, fans who maybe never watched a full race before but now they're locked in and paying attention. And NASCAR has to figure out how those two worlds come together, because the truth is that racing alone isn't enough anymore. Fans connect with personalities. They want authenticity. They want drivers they can actually relate to, not just polished sponsor speeches and corporate answers. That's part of why guys like Ross Chastain used to stand out so much before things got more controlled, and that's exactly what Cleetus represents whether you like it or not. So yeah, maybe he's not ready for Talladega yet. But the bigger question is what happens when he is, because if he figures it out, and that's a big if, this could open the door to a completely new era of NASCAR. An era where the next wave of drivers doesn't just come from the traditional paths but from platforms that bring millions of fans with them. And that's something this sport simply cannot ignore. At the end of the day, this decision doesn't end anything, it just delays it. Cleetus is still racing, he's still learning, and NASCAR made it clear they're watching closely. So now it's on him to prove he belongs at that level, and you better believe fans are going to be watching every single lap he runs from here on out. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think NASCAR made the right call by holding him out of Talladega, or should they have let him go for it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, let's talk about it. Because honestly, this is one of those moments where there is no easy answer. Part of me looks at this and says NASCAR made the right call. You cannot throw someone into Talladega without enough experience. That track does not forgive mistakes, and we have seen way more experienced drivers get caught up in huge wrecks there. Safety has to come first no matter how big the name is or how many fans are watching. But at the same time, there's another side to this that is hard to ignore. NASCAR has been searching for new energy, new fans, and new personalities for years. And right now, Cleetus McFarland is bringing exactly that. Millions of people are paying attention because of him. That is not something you can just overlook. So yeah, I get both sides. I really do. I think the key here is what happens next. If Cleetus goes out there, runs more ARCA races, runs more truck races, keeps improving and shows real progress, then this decision is going to look like the perfect move. It builds him up the right way and makes sure that when he finally gets to a place like Talladega, he's actually ready for it. But if NASCAR keeps holding him back even after he proves himself, then that is where the conversation changes. Because this sport needs guys like him, not just for the racing but for the connection with fans. At the end of the day, this is a long game. Cleetus said it himself, he needs more windshield time, and that is the truth. The talent might be there, the passion is definitely there, but experience is something you cannot skip in NASCAR, so now it is on him to take this moment, learn from it, and come back stronger. And I am telling you right now, if he puts it all together and eventually gets another shot at Daytona or Talladega, that moment is going to hit different for every fan who has been following this story. That is why this situation matters so much. It is not just about one race, it is about what kind of future NASCAR is building. So let me know what you think. Are you on NASCAR's side, or do you think they should have taken the risk? I want to hear your take. And if you enjoy real conversations like this, make sure you hit like and subscribe to NASCAR Nation Report. The channel is new. We are pushing toward 15,000 subscribers, and we are building a space for real NASCAR fans who want honest opinions and real talk about the sport. I'll see you in the next one.